This is the first video I'm making, which is kind of exploring my setup and some of the sounds I like getting out of my Vox and some other gear I've got. What I'm going to try and have a look at today is the pedal board I've got set up at the moment, particularly how I'm using the HX Stomp in my setup. So what I'll probably do is just get the camera onto the pedal board, talk you through the setup, and then have some sounds what I'm playing. What I'm going to be using today is my PRS kind of Strat style guitar and this Vox AC15, and we'll go from there. So bear with me. I've only just put this board together and I don't think I've even gigged with it yet. And I have some kind of variations on a theme that I use here. But this has kind of been built up over a wee bit of time, and I'll just talk you through what I've got. So my signal flow is coming into the Polytune 2 at the top there. And then I have this going into the EP Boost, then into the Tumnus, then into the OCD, then that runs into the Flashback Mini, and then that goes into the HX Stomp, then that goes into the loop station, and then out to the AC15. What I have got also is a Line 6 expression pedal here, which goes into the HX Stomp, and explain why I use that in a second. So the first thing that some people will be thinking is, why have I got all of this stuff when the HX Stomp does all of those things? What I found is I struggle a bit with things like snapshots and presets. I tend to go a bit on the fly at a gig, and I need to be able to work in stomp mode. I've also found that I particularly like the sound of this gain staging, and I haven't really got to grips with the equivalence of these on the stomp. And so I like to use these. I think they've got a really good tone compared to the modelling in the stomp. So I like to keep those going. And I also like to be able to adjust them as I go for different songs that I do. The other two which I could take off the board potentially would be the tuner and the delay. The reason I have those on there at the moment is as a bit of a fail-safe for me, because I tend to get in a bit of a fluster in gigs and find that I'm doing a bit of tap dancing, and sometimes I might be on the wrong preset, or maybe the singer says, oh, let's not do this song, let's do a different song. So I just want to be able to dive onto a delay quite quickly. I've also got this set up on a sort of a modulation delay sound, which kind of then covers a bit of that chorus territory as well. And I've also left the Polytune on there because in one gig I was trying to tune up in between a song quickly, and I'd left the OCD on. And of course I was getting a crazy distorted signal coming through the stomp, and it wasn't tuning, and I was having a big panic. So this just gives me a bit of an option to cancel the signal. You know, I can have it switched on and it stops, as I have now, stops sound going through. Again, another one where people say, well, why don't you use the looper on the stomp? I've had a bit of a challenge getting loopers to work, and this one I like. It's a nice solid pedal. It has the memory slots in. What I've got loaded in there is signature introductions to cover songs that we do. And also the looper on here is a bit limited, and I think what happens is you end up using up quite a few of your pedals. So the way that I've approached this is I want my gain section to be analog. I need some backup pedals in case I have a meltdown, and I'm tending to use this for modulations and delays and some reverbs. And then what I've done to make use of the fact that I'm in stomp mode, I've got a limited number of pedals I can use here. So the way I've got it set is I like to have the tap tempo. There are a few songs that we do where it does have to have that rhythmic delay. And so that really means I've only got two options here, which is a bit limited if I want a modulation, a delay and a reverb, and be able to use them all on and off with a stomp mode. So what I've done is I've got this expression pedal set up to the mix of the delay. And so when the pedal's down here, it's on 0, and up here it's something around 50%. And so I can actually blend it, so I can have a very subtle delay, or I can have a more wet sound.